And good Friday morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray as we go off into this adventure together this weekend. Today is Veterans Day. I do hope you will celebrate and thank a veteran for all that they've done for us. Now, our service will happen today at 10:30 at the Doughboy Monument, downtown Meridian. I urge everyone to come. If you can, they'll have chairs set up for those who need them. It'll be a great time for all. So that's downtown Meridian. You can't miss it, right by the MSU Riley Center on the backside of that, in between there and City Hall. Hope you'll join us for that. Also, then at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, a parade for the veterans will begin. If you can make it out for that, bring the kids. Teach them early what this is all about. We've had a lot happen over the last 24 hours. We've got a lot to talk about this morning. A lot of things that we're working on also that possibly happened. Our special guests beginning this morning at 8 a.m., I hope you'll come back and join us, will be Man of the Year, former police chief Chris Reed joins us this Friday morning to talk with us. We'll talk a little bit of crime and what's going on throughout the city. His opinion as always. Glad to have him in. We'll talk about a few other things. Right now, let's head out to Collinsville, to First Baptist. I'm going to talk about, well, it's a good subject. Do you know me? Let's check in with Brother Ben.
Have you ever had somebody come up to you and talk to you like they know you, but you have no idea in the world who they are? Man, that's an awkward situation. Well, Jesus tells us in Matthew 7 that that's going to happen to him a lot. There are going to be a lot of people who will come up to him and claim to know him. They might even call him Lord. But Jesus says that doesn't get you into heaven. No, only those who live a life of obedience to the Father will enter in. They'll say, but Jesus, I was baptized as a child. I sat in the church pew a whole bunch of Sundays. My mama loved you. My granddaddy loved you. I gave the panhandler my lunch money. I helped little old ladies cross the street. I did all of these good things in your name. And then Jesus will declare to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you workers of lawlessness. You see, it's those who are obedient to God who Jesus really knows. Does he know you? The first step of obedience is to turn from sin and trust in Jesus as Lord and Savior. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. What a great message. Again, that's Brother Ben and the fine folks there at Collinsville, the First Baptist Church. If you can ever make it by for a church service, they have them every Wednesday, Sunday morning, and Sunday nights. They'd love to have you there as well. I think Brad Paisley would like that shirt, Ben. Good looking shirt. As we start today, we do hope it's a great one for you. 63 right now, overcast in 63 as we wait for a high of 79. All of that is going to change by tomorrow. Be ready, drag the jackets out, and please, 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 as I always ask, take care of your pets. It's going to drop down to freezing in this area, 30, 31, somewhere in that neighborhood for Saturday night and Sunday night, with a huge frost coming on Sunday morning. If you don't have gas, make those calls early today. Have that delivered, have your propane ready, so the poor guy won't be working all day tomorrow trying to get it in at the last minute. Prepare for all of this as we move into a colder weather. Now, there's portions of Mississippi that will probably dip into the 20s. The Meridian area hovering right at that 30-degree mark. Back and forth, I have seen it one time they forecasted 29, but right now we're holding steady at the low being 30. That could change. It's Mother Nature, but we'll keep you up to date on all of that as we begin this Friday morning. Sad news. There's no other way to word this as we start today. We start today off with a death. I wish I could tell you differently, but I can't. As we head out to take a look at I-20, as we'll look at this is an accident that happened a little more than an hour ago, hour and 10, something like that. I-20 mile marker 163 this morning, a two-vehicle accident. 2 people were ejected from the car. 1 person was pronounced dead at the scene. We don't know identities. The roadway is clear at this point. The Mississippi Highway Patrol is on the scene there at mile marker 163. And let me show you where that is on the map. I've got that pulled up here where you can take a look here. It's out near the, right here. Here's the Welcome Center. It's going to be right here, I-20, about where Betts Radcliffe Road is. That's about where mile marker 163 is. If you're coming into town, gives you an overall. Here's the TA here. It's in between there and where the Mississippi Welcome Center is, along about right there. We, again, don't know who, but it's a sad day for a family somewhere. Just awful that this incident has happened. It did involve a vehicle and an 18-wheeler. I don't think it was the 18-wheeler's fault. We'll find out more about that as the morning goes on. We're still investigating a lot, but if you're watching me and you happen to own a business, work in the 8th Street area down Highway 19 toward I-20, check your businesses. We're checking on several possibilities of break-ins. I don't have 100% confirmation, so I'm not going to say yet, but I've got several calls in. Very big possibility that we've had several break-ins overnight. If they didn't get in, they certainly tried. I'm trying to get back up on that. But if you own a business in those areas, check your stuff, call police and report it if something has happened. Let's see here. I do know that a window was broken on 8th Street. Is all this tied? Maybe so, maybe not. But as we go down through here, and let me pull this up and show you this. Right along in here, 4611 8th Street. Outside window was broken to a business. I don't think it was gotten into, but it was broken. That was one of the many things that were going on overnight. That stretch between there and College Park. Check your stuff. Again, we don't have confirmation, but we're just telling you what we believe. Let's see some other things that went on overnight. There were some gunshots mentioned. Nothing hurt. No one shot. That is thankful. No one hurt. But they were called in from the Sawashi Court apartment area toward downtown, in that area there. And if you were to take a look at this on the map, this would be 22nd Avenue. This would be right over here. This would be in the area there of where Dirt Cheap is. Behind there is where gunshots were reportedly heard. Again, nothing damaged, nothing hurt. So that's good news. As we got word from Cassie Coleman, our district attorney, yesterday, someone has been sentenced as we look at this. Have you read the story? We posted it yesterday afternoon as we got what happened in court. As we go to this, 40 years without parole. A Lauderdale County man does head off to jail as she announced that James Alexander Starks, 33, entered a plea of guilty for the crime of second-degree murder and aggravated assault. Circuit Court Bo Bailey sentenced James Starks to serve a term of 40 years in the custody of the Mississippi Department of Corrections. Second degree, without the chance of parole. Key word there. Hopefully this will deter others from doing this. That makes him, 73 when he gets out? Your life has been spent behind bars. The Lauderdale County Sheriff's Department, boy, they've been busy also as we look at what went on yesterday. Contraband. And you go, well, what's the big deal? That is a big deal. If you work at a detention center, you cannot be selling or sneaking things in to a facility. And that's what happened as we look at the charges that are going on. And, of course, everyone is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. But a former detention center officer has been arrested and charged with contraband at a correctional facility. After an investigation was put in this, he was terminated and charged with 2 accounts. He is currently out on bond from the Lauderdale County Sheriff's Department. The full-fledged investigation into that. We also learned that 4 arrests were made for drug charges from the Lauderdale County Sheriff's Department. As we pull this up, this is also on Sam Media, or you can see it on our Facebook page. Any of these places you can tune in to read these stories and more. Jessica Culpepper has been charged with failure to pay. She also the sale of methamphetamines, $25,000. Trafficking of a controlled substance, $75,000. Her father, also Murphy Culpepper, has been charged with trafficking and a controlled substance, a $75,000 bond. As we keep going, we see that, and hopefully I will pronounce this correctly. And again, on each one of these, you can click this and download the arrest report from the Lauderdale County Sheriff's Department to read more about it. You'll know what was actually went on with that. Joe Pasio, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, sale of controlled substance, possession of meth with intent, probation violation, so there is no bond on this. He will wait his time in jail before he heads to jail. Jennifer Wheat has been charged with failure to pay a fine and possession of meth. Serious charges there from the Lauderdale County Sheriff's Department. And we expect to have more rolling in before long. Busy day for the Sheriff's Department yesterday. As I spoke with Ward Calhoun, they had a very, very busy day. Yesterday morning, before this, right at 8 o'clock, and thank heaven nothing more happened with this. We broke this while we were live on the air that something had happened. We weren't sure, but in the early morning hours, right before 8 o'clock, a school bus was involved in an accident in the Meridian area. It would happen at 29th Avenue and 26th Street there at the stop sign. Bus was stopped, a car was stopped. I think someone may have not seen the stop sign and bumped the other car, and one of those cars slammed into the school bus. Minor damage to the school bus. All kids were just transported to another school bus and taken on to school. They were A-OK. The bus did not receive any damage from that lick. That's good. We're going to show this morning. As we talked about the burglaries, if we had some more this morning, the burglaries that happened last weekend. We've got video footage now. And this is it. We'll show this at 8 o'clock this morning where everybody can get a good look at this. This is Hair Queen is where this is. 8th Street. If you were going toward downtown Meridian, it would be right before you get to the red light, before Webb's Funeral Home is. If you're going toward downtown Meridian. Back in the day when McAllister TV was there. I think that's AAA glass right along in that area there. So we'll play that. Hopefully somebody will recognize these. 4 people broke into there. Could they be involved with other crimes? Absolutely, they sure can. We'll post that. We've got it posted. You can watch it in its entirety on Facebook or YouTube. We've got it in both places for you to see. And we'll play it here this morning also on television where you can get a good look at that and see if you recognize them. Always call authorities if you recognize somebody from these. They take their time. They're very calm. As they go through there, they would finally trip the alarm and tip the police, and they would come. Yesterday, we also had several rounds reported of gunshots. The 23rd Avenue, this again after dark, 23rd, 24th Avenue. I couldn't get an exact location, but everyone that talked to me agreed that somewhere between here and south of 23rd, from the Dollar General back toward the hospitals, is where the sound come from. It was somewhere between 4 to 6 shots. I had numerous reports of it. I just couldn't pinpoint where the exact shots were fired. We tried, but that's what we know about that. If you were in that area last night, you may know more than I did. But for sure, the gunshots did happen. We had a fender bender yesterday. This is a all too commonplace. Anybody ever been on Highway 39, stopped at the red light there on Highway 39, North Hills? There it is. We had another fender bender there yesterday. As you see this is the map of it, but somebody was rear-ended. As you take a look at this, a little bump there. No one was hurt. But it did slow traffic for a moment before the police could arrive and get everything cleared out to where traffic was flowing once again. And this happens a lot. Whether you're pulling a trailer behind your truck, pulling a trailer and you're making a turn, you can sometimes misjudge what you're doing, not swing tight enough. And this would happen at the Pilot truck stop. Only thing the big deal about this was it wasn't a little 18-foot trailer behind your truck. No, sirree, Bob. This was an 18-wheeler that would end up hanging off in the ditch. Didn't quite get the swing just right. As we look at that picture there, Simmons had to come out to the rescue. I think he'll look a little closer next time when he goes to make that swing. That'll slow your delivery time down, won't it? Again, that happened there. That was at the Pilot truck stop yesterday as we got messages of what was going on there. Let's see what else we had happen in Meridian yesterday. Now, I got this, and I thought this was, because there's no other way to word this for me. Maybe you're like me. Maybe it doesn't faze you. But I am the biggest chicken when it comes to heights. I can look down and get dizzy. I don't know why. I don't know what's wrong with me, but that happens. Airplanes don't bother me. I can hang out the window of an airplane, look, I'm okay. But you put me in an elevator where I can see out or a glass window, I get dizzy. And Chris Shepard sent this in. He was hard at work yesterday, and I do not want Chris's job. We'll show this again this morning at 8, but I thought y'all would want a sneak peek at that. Could you do that? Tied off with a rope, hanging on a roof? That's pretty high up there. No, sir, that's not the job for me. I respect those that do the things that I cannot do. We're all talented at something. That's not one that I'm talented at. Good luck to them. Whew. We're getting ready for the big game. Alabama is headed into Stark Vegas, as we'll get some games there. Actually, it's Ole Miss hosting Alabama. Mississippi State is going to have Georgia rolling into town. Big games. Everybody's getting ready. I hope you'll get to watch one of these games this weekend, as they'll be on television. Everybody loves. There's a lot of tailgating going to happen this weekend. Now, I remember being in high school at Northeast High School. Anybody watching that may have attended Northeast? I had a teacher, Roland Wright. Anybody remember Roland? Great guy. I want to say he taught me history. And I remember as we were going over the justice systems, he made a comment one time that he would rather see 12 guilty men walk free than one innocent man go to jail. He made that statement. It always stuck with me. At the time, I think I was in 7th grade. It may not have really registered with me what he was talking about, but it became ever clear yesterday as I read the story of what happened. I mentioned yesterday morning that 2 Louisville men, a murder happened in Louisville, and 2 men were on trial at the same time. They had an eyewitness that said they were there. I watched them shoot them. It didn't look good. Yesterday, as the trial went back into session in Winston County, their key witness admitted on the stand that he lied about the entire thing. Can you believe that? The 2 men, all charges were dropped, and they were immediately set free. That is good. I would not want in any shape, form, or way anyone to go to jail for something that they didn't do. So it is a blessing. I spoke to several of the family members. They were extremely, extremely happy on this. Marquise Davis and Jamar Walker have been set free. All charges dropped against them. Again, an innocent man never needs to go to jail. Do we know why the person may have lied? We do not. Boy, boy, boy. Glad it happened now and not later. We find out overnight, Jackson, Mississippi, a police cruiser was stolen. A chase happened. It crashed near McDonald's as the chase continued there. There it goes. Jackson, Mississippi. I'm sure that they've been arrested with this. As we also look, a Jackson man was sentenced to over 3 years for prison for breaking in a Dollar General. A lot of what is it about Dollar Generals? I'm looking at Gulfport also. This man's getting 20 years for armed robbery of a Dollar General. They seem to be. Maybe it's that there's a lot more of those. Maybe that's just the key factor here. They're in just about every rural route area there is, and it's easy for criminals to go in when a cashier is alone. Maybe that's the deal. I'm not real sure. Do you remember we talked about the carjacking that happened in Jackson, Mississippi, in a parking garage at the UMMC, University of Mississippi Medical Center? They've caught the guy. Someone had gotten off work. They were going to the car. He demanded, assaulted them, took their car. He's been arrested. Hopefully we'll find out more about this. Always be careful in parking garages. If you can, you don't always have somebody with you. But if you feel uncomfortable, most places have a security guard. Ask for a security guard to walk you to your car if you feel a little spooky there. We do see that in Hinds County, the sheriff has issued they're looking for someone, for a man that's been found guilty of sexual battery. They're looking for Anthony Bingham, 42. He's a fugitive. An arrest warrant's been issued. They've been looking for him. Hopefully he'll be found. We'll share that in just a little while on our page so you can see that picture in case he's in your neighborhood. Let's see what else. Brett Favre is thanking his followers for all the recent allegations against him of people sticking by him and not turning on him. He's been through a lot, there's no doubt. We wish Brett the best with all of that, as we haven't heard much about what's going on the upper end of this, the governor and all of those that were involved. Been kind of quiet lately. We see that in Lawrence County, Mississippi this morning, 2 teenagers have been detained. Why? Making threats to a school. No names, they're underage. Hopefully we'll find out more, but one has been detained for sure as we look at this. Ocean Springs, Biloxi, that area, Ocean Springs man has been charged. Well, he stabbed somebody. Aggravated assault. He's been taken into custody by the Harrison County Sheriff's Department. Wow. That's a common thing nowadays. As we go to Tupelo, they made a traffic stop. Something didn't look right, and the more they investigated it, They ended up doing a search warrant of the man's home. Whoops. He's been involved with child sex abuse material. He's been arrested. More charges most likely will follow with that. Sad it is that this even happens there. West Point, due north of here. Guy that's been on the run for 4 months. U.S. Marshals took them down, arrested him. He was a suspect in an April shooting in Tupelo. He was captured there. The task force, Mr. Hall, has been arrested. Hopefully we'll find out more about that also. As we come along, the sheriff in California, this is on a national level. This is really, really bad as we look at this in California. It's a county that's got 65,000 people in it. Lauderdale County's got a little bit more where we live. We've got about 80,000. But it's gotten so bad, they don't have enough deputies that they're no longer going to patrol during the daytime. Can you believe that? That's shocking. I'm going to try to pronounce it right. Tehama, Tehama County, 120 miles north of Sacramento, California. Serious business. We've got more on the way as we begin our morning here. Y'all don't rush off. We'll tell you all about what's happening today. We'll check your forecast next, right here at the Scotty Ray Report. The Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville has these great savings this week. Idaho potatoes, an 8-pound bag, $4.99. California navel oranges, a 4-pound bag, $4.99. Red, white, yellow, and sweet onions, 99 cents a pound. Coca-Cola products, 12-pack, 2 for $11. Assorted pork chops, $1.59 a pound. And certified Angus beef T-bone steaks, family pack, $8.99 a pound.
And we're down home, down the street, Piggly Wiggly.
Sanders Gas, Sanders Air and Heat is your full-service propane supplier since 1946. We take pride in ensuring reliable, friendly service to our customers. We also provide safety tune-ups related to propane, air conditioning, and heating systems, keeping our community efficient and safe. I'm Chuck Sanders, and yes, we're local.
And welcome back. And as I was talking about just a moment ago, if you are just joining me, I felt pretty strongly that there had been a break-in in Meridian, and I just got confirmation. He'll be in just a moment. I sent Chris Reed. Anybody remember this guy? Used to be our police chief. I sent him on a goose chase that I thought had happened. We did have a break-in last night. Burger King on 8th Street has been broken into. I've got the pictures. We'll share them in just a moment. Now, I've got several other places that we're checking into to see if they were also broken into. I think there were several attempts, and we will find out more also in the next little bit. I'm sending him one more place to look here. Chris, drop by here on your way in and see if you see anything there. But as many as possibly 3 places. We've had several windows broken out last night, but a confirmation again there if you're just coming in that someone did break into Burger King last night. I know the cash register was thrown on the floor, and just like, and it's most likely the same people that broke into Dairy Queen and also to Raising Cane's last weekend, went right through the drive-through window. That's how they gained access to the store. We'll check it out, let you know more. All right, let's get into our forecast this morning and tell you how the weather's going to be for Veterans Day.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As we go back for our record highs and record lows, 1969, we had a high of 83. It was a warm day. That was the year I was born. I'll be dog. The record low was set in 1894 with a low of 24. Woo! Cool day, wasn't it? Also, let's see what else happened today. This is what's happening. 79 is expected throughout the Meridian area today. We do see 77 up in this area right here. As we go through Philadelphia all the way towards Stark Vegas as we get ready for game day tomorrow. As we'll look across Alabama, for the most part, we'll be sunny. Here's some showers out here to the east because of the hurricane that has gone through. Out in this area is there. This area here joining Mississippi looks good, sunshiny there. A huge frost is coming Sunday morning. Now, as I mentioned, they may change the temperatures for our area, but we're right now looking at about 30. But there are parts of Mississippi that could fall from that 25-degree mark, a little bit cooler than us, but a huge frost is expected. We look at this as this cold front comes apart. Today is your last day of sunshine and warmth. High in the 50s tomorrow. Let's go ahead and look at that. Our 7-day outlook, 79 today, down to 45 tonight. As you wake up tomorrow, drastic as temperatures will drop to 55, that low at 31. That's below freezing. We'll get the same on Sunday night, 54 for high, 31 for that low. Back into work day on Monday, we'll get 58 for high, low of 43, and a chance of rain there Tuesday. Look at that, 55, 30% chance there, low of only 42. But we are in the 50s for the next 6 to 7 days as we look at that. Actually, it's more. We go all the way through the 22nd of the month before we'll see a 60-degree temperature. Let me fix that. We can see that better. Look at that. But cool weather, drag your jackets out. You're going to need that. What's going on? We do know that this morning, as we look at this tropical depression, Nicole has dropped down as she is making her way toward out of Florida into Georgia this morning. She's moving along at 35 miles an hour, gust of 46 miles an hour. 46 miles an hour, may have said that wrong, moving north-northwest at 16 miles an hour. That's a lot there. Best times to fish today? Well, let's check in with Chet's Paint and Body. It looks like at about 10 o'clock this morning till noon. Take you right to lunch and go eat some chicken. Great day. Now, we're going to be gusty with 20-mile-an-hour gust. A good day to fish is what it says. That's a quick look at what we've got. We've got more coming up as we'll tell you what's happening around the areas. Join us. We'll be back in 1 hour from now to let you know exactly what's happening through the Meridian area as Chris Reed joins us. We'll talk about crime in the city last night as we try to find out more of possible break-ins. One confirmed, Burger King, 8th Street. Got some folks out there. And again, if you've got a business in that area, Highway 19 up to College Park, anywhere there down 8th Street, there was a lot of mischief last night. We may not know everything yet as we try to find out more and more answers as to what happened. Join us. We'll be back in just a little bit here at the Scotty Ray Report. Candace will join us as well. Y'all be careful. Do appreciate you dropping by.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: